guys!
Welcome back.
Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be telling you guys 10 of our biggest tips for a half Ironman. Some of these things we learned beforehand and others we learned because of our own experience.
Alright guys, jumping right on into it. Also a fourth leg.
It has taken him so many times to get this right.
You just messed it up when I was on a
Okay, do it again.
Everyone knows about the 3 legs in a triathlon, which is swimming, biking, and running. But there's also a fourth leg, nutrition.
So nutrition is the most important part of the race because if you don't have proper nutrition, your body is going to give out before you ever finish. You're going to get leg cramps and all of that.
Yeah, and you just really want to stay on top of your nutrition, and that means having it easily accessible during the race.
Yeah, you really want to stay ahead of the game with this. Once your legs start cramping up or whatever, it's really hard to undo it. So we were really good about keeping up with our nutrition and taking something every 30 minutes, even if we were feeling fine, just do it. So that kind of leads us into tip number 2, which I learned from my parents. They did a half Ironman a while back. They taped their goo packets to their bike, like the little tab that you rip off, tape it to the bike, and that way whenever you're on the bike it's super easy to just rip it up and take it and then,
Yeah, we didn't see too many people doing this, but it was just super beneficial for us.
Yeah. I really saw one other person maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, otherwise you're having to tear it as you're biking and it's a little more complicated. So it's nice to have it taped there. You just rip it up and take it.
The only thing I'd recommend as you're taping, don't get too close to inside your legs because you don't want to have that in the way while you're pedaling.
Yeah.
Moving on to tip number 3, hydration. So we made I think a little bit of a mistake during our triathlon. We had 2 water bottles, which is great, but we put electrolyte tablets in both of our water bottles.
In my mind, was I want as many electrolytes as I can get, so I'm gonna put electrolytes in both water bottles. And I came to regret that later on. The electrolytes are great. Highly recommend that you have some sort of sports drink or electrolytes in one of your water bottles, but I felt like the flavor and everything, it was almost making me more thirsty, and I just wanted something neutral so bad, flavorless, just water.
If you're worried about not getting enough electrolytes, you don't think you would have enough in one bottle, you can do a couple things. You can make that bottle really condense in it, or you can just carry some extra tablets with you.
Yeah.
And you can just slide those in there when you get to a water station. I know our water station was once every 15 miles, so we got about 3 of them. Eventually,
I finished one of my bottles, and at a water station, I filled that one up with water. So, I mean, you can always do that, but I would highly recommend starting from the start with 1 water bottle, having electrolytes, and the other water, because you are gonna want the water.
Tip number 4 is kind of a no-brainer, but just make sure you have plenty of tubes. Bringing 1 extra tube isn't gonna cut it.
No.
If you watch that first video, you see that even though we had 3 extra tubes, 1 extra for each of us plus another additional one, we still ended up having to get help from back mechanic, and those are far in between.
Yeah, and everyone got the tubes. He's like, I got 3 tubes. Probably don't need all of them. Should I take them anyway? I was like, might as well. And yeah, we needed all 3. We actually needed more than that. Didn't have it. We had the bike mechanic. Worked out.
So you want to be self-sufficient. So make sure you have tubes. Make sure you have a tool. And we'll talk about it in another video. So you can get that tube off a little bit easier. CO2 tanks, etc. Tip number 5: make sure you know how to use all your gear, but even more importantly, just inspect it.
So going back to the bike tubes, one of those tubes we brought had a factory defect on it, and we didn't know that. So
straight out of the box.
Yeah, so just make sure you inspect everything, make sure everything's in good condition, and make sure you know how to change a tire. Thankfully, he knew how to change a tire. We were together the whole time, so he helped me whenever mine blew out. But there were countless people on the side of the road that just looked hopeless, they had tire issues and they had no idea what to do. And in that case, the race is kind of over for you unless someone pulls over and is able to help you. So super important. Learn how to change a bike tire. It's not that hard. Tip number 6, if you're not training in or with it, don't race with it. So this goes for everything from socks to nutrition. If you have not used, say goos for example, some goos I've used in the past have really just felt heavy in my stomach, made me feel nauseous. The goo that we got, we kind of played around with certain ones while we were training and found the right one. But even socks seem so simple, but they may rub you the wrong way or whatever, and you're gonna be in the socks for a while.
Yeah, we just wear the same socks we had been practicing. We heard stories from people that had gotten brand new race socks, whatever, and they had to horrible blisters, and it really affected their run during.
Yeah, so if you're not training with it, don't race with it. Play it safe. You don't want any weird surprises come race day.
I'll move on to tip number 7, shoes. You don't want to go out and get a brand new pair of shoes just for the start of the race.
Yeah, absolutely not. Your body needs to be adjusted to them, but you also don't want to run in shoes that are pretty worn out. We got new shoes about a month before the race.
A month before.
Kind of break them in, but they were still, in good condition whenever we did race. So
another thing we did is we just stuck with the same brand of shoes we were running before. We didn't want our legs to have to break into new shoes and have to run a new pair of shoes that you haven't ran in before. Calves could hurt, shins could hurt, etc.
Yeah. So we stuck with the same brand, same type of shoe, played it safe. Number 8. Have any kind of medication you may need or like first aid stuff available at transition. So we played it safe and we took a couple ibuprofen before we even started the race, just to be on the safe side, in case we got a headache or like little aches and pains or something. And then we took it again right before the run. So we had Tums, we had Band-Aids, we had Advil, all those things. Just be prepared for anything.
So tip number 9, it's just going to be just I guess general practice in the swim.
Yeah, so we personally did not swim open water at all.
Yeah, we didn't really have access.
No, we really didn't have access to it. So we just swam in a pool, which highly recommend doing an open water swim if you're able to, because it's a lot different than a pool. But in a lap pool, you've got the line on the bottom. It's clear, like it's easy to stay straight. But whenever you're in open water, you can go crooked super easily.
You don't realize it.
There were times where I would have someone run into me directly from the side going like at a 90-degree angle to me. So some people can get really crooked, which first of all takes up more time. You want to stay as straight as possible to get done as soon as possible. What I would do is like breaststroke a couple times just to make sure I'm going straight. And there's buoys lining the course, so even if you like take a breath, you can kind of see the buoy from the side. So just be aware when you swim.
And don't worry if you cut off too far, there's people on kayaks, they'll come hit you with the oar, make you stick your head up and go in the opposite direction.
They will kind of tap you, but
so I've happened to a couple people.
Yeah, so if you do get in a situation where everyone's kind of on top of each other, which it will happen, you're gonna hit pockets like that. What I did was just breaststroke and kind of like look ahead and see where people are. If someone's going faster than me, just let them go. Kind of find the pockets where there's not a lot of people and try to hit those.
And then the last one.
Number 10, pace your hydration. You're gonna be so thirsty at times and you're gonna wanna just like chug water. Don't do it. Don't do it. I was so thirsty on the bike. Going back to the hole, we only had electrolytes and I got like way more thirsty for water. When I finally got water, it tasted so good. I was just like chugging it. We still had like 15, 20 miles to go, and after I chugged that water, I felt so nauseous, my stomach hurt so bad the rest of the race. All the way through the run, everything. So pace yourself whenever you're thirsty, you're gonna regret it if you chug.
I caught myself almost getting to that point during the run. Because in the run they have an aid station every mile or so. And it's okay to skip the water.
It's okay to skip the water. You're not going to want to.
Yeah, you're not going to want to, but 13 cups of water is a lot of water. So
yeah. So those are our 10 biggest tips. If you have any other tips that you've used or you've been given, let us know in the comments because we would like to know. And hit that subscribe button. We've got another video coming out soon talking about what all is in our transition bag, what you should have ready at transition area.
What gear we use.
Yeah, our favorite products and everything like that.
What's your sign off?
Okay, well, I think our official sign off is try hard, which you came up with.
That's so stupid. We are never going to do that.
You did that in the last video.
It's not at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Chris Ann.
Yeah, that's what you signed off.
You didn't do that.
Yeah, you said, try hard.
Joke.
Well, that's how you signed off. So it's live for the world to see.